Well, welcome to Rendering Insights. In this video, we're going to be drawing a 68 Chevelle. If you like this video or if it's helpful, please like and subscribe below. All right, this is the car we're going to be doing. Pretty cool ride. These muscle cars are super cool. This one sits right, sits low, has some killer wheels on it, nice vinyl roof, and even some striping on the side. We're going to be doing the line work in Illustrator and then bringing that into Photoshop and building this rendering in layers. All right, let's get started. Okay, here we are in Adobe Illustrator. What we did was find a photograph online of the 68 that had the right perspective. We like this 3/4 rear view. And it's important to get the right picture because the 68 has a very distinctive rear bumper and tail lights, quite a bit different than the following year, the 69. So we want to make sure we get this right. So we found a good photograph to use as a reference. Again, we scanned that in and used it as a guide. So here in Illustrator, we took our pen tool and just line by line traced that off. Just copied all the critical lines of this car. And this car also having this vinyl roof, we made sure we had the right seams and everything that were correct for the 68. All right, the only other thing that we did here in Illustrator was go ahead and put in our pinstriping lines. So on another layer, we dropped in that pinstriping. See that? We will bring that into Photoshop later after we do all of our color work and drop that on top so we don't cover it all up. Okay, there's our line work. We'll bring that into Photoshop and start doing some color. Okay, here we are in Photoshop. We have brought in all of our line work from Illustrator. And let's go ahead and make 5 copies of this line work over on the right, dragging down to that plus sign to make 5 copies, and we'll just work on each of those layers one by one. All right, let's take the bottom one and go ahead and do some shadow work. We're going to take that one and drop black in here in this area and do a little bit of color on our tires and down below, which I'll show you. So here's that layer, that bottom one. See, we've dropped in all our black in here. And then down below, we've taken that brush tool with our black and just brushed in some shadow. Just kind of kept drawing that in there till we got what we wanted. Used the eraser tool actually and cleaned that up a little bit just to get what we wanted. Most of the shadow is up underneath the car this time. So just pretty abbreviated for a shadow. The other things we did on this layer was the glass. Pretty simple on this one. We selected this back glass with the magic wand tool with our black, just brushed in from the top, leaving a little bit of white down below. And over here on the side, selecting these 3 panels down in that wind wing, and just start brushing that black in real lightly. So we leave the white down here so we get that reflection over on the side of the car. Okay. On our next line layer, we're going to start putting in all of our base colors on this car. This car has that kind of cool factory green color. And so we're going to drop this in. Now, in order to get this dramatic highlight down the side, it's a little tricky because there is no body line down the side right here. There's no black line to snap to. So what we need to do is, again, with the magic wand tool, select this panel, the door, and this will connect over to that front fender. And with that selected, we grab this color and brush that in real hard down below. And then afterwards, we're going to grab our eraser tool and erase along that line. We're just kind of keep working in here little by little till we establish this line down here, where that body line peaks right there at that apex. All right, and once we've erased that where it's white on top and solid green down below, then above, remember these areas are selected already. So we can get in here with our green real big and brush that in the top, being careful not to cover up this white down below because these are still on the same layer. Does that make sense? Okay. And then little by little selecting these areas like this deck lid in here, brushing that in real lightly, keeping some highlight here, and these dropping in solid with that bucket tool, just dropping those in. We brushed in a little bit of warm gray on the bumper in here, just starting to render that a little bit. And on this vinyl roof, it is a black roof, but let's go ahead and put in this cool gray color to start with in these areas. So all these panels up above have that gray color right now, and we'll come in and put some black. In fact, on this next layer, we're going to do that. Look on that roof. Again, selecting this particular section in here with that magic wand tool. We have that gray down below. We can brush in that black and just start creeping up to that. So this is black down below, and it blends into this highlight on this vinyl top back here. Same with this panel here. Select that. Pretty dark here, and the rest of it's highlighted. On the green, we just want to richen that up. So we actually took some black. And on this layer, we treated it the same as we did on that first color layer. Got in here, selected these panels, and then start brushing some black in here. And really right on top of that other line, we can just kind of use that as a center line, brushing that in so that black is real light over the green. And then we go back with the eraser tool again and go back to that line that we had before on that first color layer, knocking that off. Then with that black even lighter, brushing a little bit on the top here, and then brushing some down below here to make that look like that body rolls under. Okay, same thing, selecting these areas in the back and brushing that black in real lightly. You can see it up here too. Also in this layer on this bumper, we added a little more detail. Went in here with a little darker warm gray. Remember selecting the bumper with the magic wand, getting here with a smaller brush and just brushing back and forth, trying to make it look like the way this bumper rolls under right here, creating a little bit of a shadow. Shadow on the outside edge and then a little bit down below because this thing is going to roll under. And also it will have a shadow inside there where the license plate is. See that? Also in this layer, on the color layer, we dropped in this kind of amber color. We know the taillights are red, but a lot of times these taillights, they kind of patina out and they fade a little bit. And on a build like this, it's going to have nice, fresh, new plastic. But for sake of the rendering, I just like to have that amber peeking through. So we're going to select these areas on this next layer and brush in our red around it, allowing a little bit of that amber to peek through. It just gives it a, I don't know, kind of a cool look. I like it. All right, and on these wheels, look all the work we did on this one layer. Got in here selecting each of these panels at a time and treating them. But let's just look at this inside of this rim. Selecting this panel with that magic wand tool. Went in here and put tan on the top, which will reflect the ground, and some blue here to reflect the sky. And just brushed in some dark color here for now on our horizon, some kind of reflection back here. It's a little harsh, but we'll knock it down a little bit. Same with the front. All right. On that next line layer, we'll drop that in here and start detailing a few things. Went in here and selected each of these panels all at the same time and brushed in some black to make it look like this wheel and tire are tucked up underneath this wheel well. See what that does front and back? Did a little shadow under this trim over these taillights. I think that helped a lot. And just brushed in some blue on this license in some darker color. I think that needed more of a shadow back there. All right. Now on this last line layer, let's do a little bit more detail. Because all we did is put a little shadow on the license plate. And remember all that black we had in here? It got a little bit dark. So let's go in here, again, selecting these areas with that wand and just take our white paintbrush and brush this in here and lighten this up. Just brighten, just kind of blending these together a little bit. Just made that a little easier on the eye, not so harsh. The only thing left are a few highlights. Get some little hot spot highlights. This does a lot just to make your drawing come alive. Little hot spots on the chrome and a few places around some of these trim pieces around the car. Okay. And on this car, the owner is going to put kind of old factory pinstriping down the side. This car looks good either way, but we're going to do that. So we did that in Illustrator and then brought it in. Super easy to do in Illustrator. All right. The only other thing we're going to do is put the year of the car on the license plate, the 68. Okay, there you go. There's my take on a 68 Chevelle. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any way, please check out our other videos available on Rendering Insights.